Hello. It's, I didn't really fancy posting a video today, or at least not this early. But since before I got up today, my mental health has been on me, trying to, well, I don't know what it's been trying to do, because on one hand it's been really malicious. It's like what I normally experience on a daily basis. The fight that it constantly wants to antagonise me into a fight about every little thing. It just wants to fight. It's I think it gets bored and needs entertainment, and it wants me to get flustered and worked up and unsettled. But the thing is, it's there in the background. It's not at the forefront. So normally it envelops me, and I don't really have much breathing space to focus or to get beyond it. It's like, to live, to function, I have to go through whatever it wants me to deal with. And if it wants me to get annoyed by this little thing and that little thing, I don't really have much choice. And that's still there. I can definitely see it. But I have to be focused because I've got my whole life to sort out, and there isn't much of my life that won't get sorted through this process, won't get dealt with. So it really is my whole life, and I'm trying to stay focused to that. I think it must be the effects of the medication as well. It's things are there's a bit of, I don't want to say breathing space, but there's a bit of space between Sorry, I'm just taking a second so I can focus and make sure I get this right for you. So there's a bit of breathing space between, and a bit of choice I have this time, before getting worked up and before getting flustered. And that's the real difference. But I can see it building up and getting to the point where things were going to become a bit more challenging, and I want to keep focused on the big picture at hand for me. I don't want things to get any more difficult. So I thought I'd make this video. But yeah, I don't know what it's doing. It's a malicious mental health disorder I have. It does antagonise to an astounding degree, and I'm left traumatised by a recent antagonism from my mental health. So I'm very wary of it, and I know there's no real break this what I have now, the only reason it seems like I have breathing space is because my body's taken the backlog, the how can I put it? It's like where I was on top of my body and then able to go about life, my body's become slow, my body's become tired, my body's become taken the brunt. And as soon as I clear my body out and become a bit clearer to things, I wouldn't suspect if it's there waiting for me. And I'm within all of this, and I'm looking at life, and there's a real emptiness. There's a real I mean, it's not an aloneness. That's not what it is for me. But if you imagine an aloneness, because I can imagine for most people that's going to be as close to describing where I am as you can possibly imagine. But for me, it's not an aloneness. I don't mind my aloneness. For me, it's an emptiness, in the sense that it's like I've got all of these things to do for life, whereas last year I had nothing to do. And life is more meaningless now than it was then. And I almost know I have to carry on with what I'm doing. But life without meaning is bloody suffocating, isn't it? So I've got to stay focused. I've got to keep focused to what I have to do. See all of my problems in the background. It's really going for me today. It's not letting me think at all. There's a lot of pressure on me, a lot of physical pressure. And if I'm honest, I just want to scream. But it's been so buried by the medication and by recent events in hospital. It's just a really weird place to be in, to know that you have to scream because the current situation is just mind-numbing. But yeah, it's taken me 8 minutes of this video to remember my little compass to set me back on track. So I see and accept the reality of my life. Now we're interconnected. I am dependent upon you and every other human being for my freedom. So I see the reality of my life, that I'm not free to the world. And same with the pain. Everything is pain. If I'm dependent upon you, and you're dependent upon me, and there are people in the world that have it a lot worse off than me, then my life is just like a fantasy, man. How can I stand here? How can I live my life? How can I go out there to the shops? How can I eat my food? How can I go and do my work when all of that is helping to contribute and create the suffering in the world directly? It's not possible. And if you remember that, you're in a constant state of like intoxication to, right, I'm doing this because of X, I'm doing this because of Y, I'm doing this because I need to earn money to feed myself, and then you sit down after you've earned your money to feed yourself, and you say a little prayer for the people in the world that don't have. But it's a big joke at the end of the day when you earning your money, me earning my money, us earning money is creating the suffering in the first place. So our lives, everything is pain. But the irony is, if we don't earn our money, people will come and take from us. People will come and take our homes. People will put us on the streets without a second thought. So you need to earn your money. So life really is asking us to be intoxicated to a sickness we're born into. Everything is pain, but we don't hold to it because life will put us on the street if we do. If we start clinging onto it too much, this earning the money is creating all the suffering in the world, it's doing this to people, it's doing that to people, it's not good, and it's not. But you got to draw the balance, because if you're real, if you're true about helping the world, you're no good on the streets. Unless it was like a mass revolution where like, fuck this, and everyone's in it. Well, what's the point? You're going to be on the street. What message? People walk by you with the best intentions in the world in their hearts, and they will walk by you. There's no point being on the streets. So we're born into a sickness where we have to suffer an intoxication to stay sane. Everything is pain, but we don't hold to it. We've got to stay focused to our own lives. And it can always get worse. So when it gets tough for us within our own lives, just remember there's people in the world that are a lot worse off than us, and there's a lot in between that. So from where we are to where the real suffering in the world is at, there's a lot of steps in between for us to fall and constantly fall down for the rest of our life. If it means putting us on the streets as the first instance, then that's just the first stepping stone. Being on the streets in the UK, one of the richest countries in the world, is an abundance for a lot of people. The amount of rubbish that gets thrown out by businesses and people that they don't comprehend its worth is ridiculous. You could live like a king. You could live like a king if you just don't mind going through a rubbish bag to get your food. So here I am, I've just put myself back on track with that, and I'm going to get on.